Everyone, I'm going to show you how to make the Sew in the Hoop penguin treat bags and the little penguin wreath you see here. I've already started sewing the design a little bit, but I wanted to show you that I've hooped a piece of felt with tearaway stabilizer, and now I'm going to finish sewing the first color of the design, and this is an outline for where to place the white felt. After that color is sewn, you'll stop the machine and place white felt over the top. Now sew the second color, which is the tack down for the white felt. After the second color is sewn, we'll cut away the excess felt. We'll cut really close to the stitching, but we're going to be careful not to cut through any stitching. Put the hoop back in the machine and sew all but the last color of the design. Before you sew the last color, you'll stop the machine and you'll place another piece of black felt under the hoop and make sure that it covers completely the back of the embroidery. Just make sure to have it lined up and that it's going to completely cover the back. Finish the design by sewing the last color. This is the outer seam of the design. When that's sewn, remove it from the hoop and tear away your stabilizer. After the stabilizer is torn away, cut out the design. Leave about 1/8 of an inch of felt around the outside of the stitching. When you go to cut around the opening on the head, make sure to cut it in a round shape and not straight across. We want the little head to be rounded. I have some stuffing, some polyester fiber fill, and I'm going to stuff the little penguin with it. Now, if you were going to use these as treat bags, you wouldn't stuff these, but I'm going to make a wreath with mine. So I've stuffed it with polyester fiber fill, and I have a needle with black thread on it, and I'm going to sew the opening closed at the top of the head. I want to add a little hat to this one, so I'm going to use my hot glue gun and I'm going to glue just across the top of the head, right under the hat. Now I'm going to add some polyester fiber fill to the cap before I glue the back of it with the hot glue gun. I have the feet sewn and cut out, and I'm going to stuff them with a small amount of fiber fill. And then I'll sew the openings closed. I just love how they're providing a little poker stick now in the polyester fiber fill. When I sew the openings closed, I always start by taking the needle to the inside, from the inside to the out. Now I'm ready to attach the feet to the penguin, and I just put a little bit of glue on each foot. And then I glue it to the back side of the penguin with just a little bit of the feet showing. This little guy is going to be holding a candy cane, so I'm going to slightly wrap his wing around it and glue the wing to the candy cane. And then I'll glue the candy cane to the penguin. For the peppermint candy, I've sewn it and cut it out, and I'm going to stuff it with polyester fiber fill, and then I'll sew the opening closed. One little trick I use when I'm cutting the thread, or before I cut the thread actually, on these is I stick the needle back in very close to where I ended the stitching, and I run it through the felt a bit, and then I cut it off, and that way you won't have any threads showing through. Now to add the scarf, I'm just going to run a strip of glue along the penguin's neck and hold the scarf on. On this one, I'm going to add some holly to the top of its head, and again I'm just using hot glue, putting some on the holly, and I'll glue it to the top of its head. I'll add the little carol book to this penguin again by hot gluing it on. I want to make it look as though it's holding the little booklet, so I'm going to add a little bit of glue to the corner, and I'm going to glue the wing to the book, and I'll do that to the other side too. For the peppermint candy, I'm going to hot glue it on too, and again I'll glue the wings to the wrapper part of the candy to make it look like it's holding the candy. This one's going to be holding a little sled, so I'll glue the sled on, and again I'll glue the wing to the sled to make it look like it's holding the sled. I'm going to make sure the sled handle is just above the little wing so I can wrap the wing around and glue it to the sled. Now for the one holding the skis, I'm going to glue the skis on, and again glue its wing so that it looks like it's holding the skis. I need to turn the skis a little bit to make sure that it shows both of its eyes. And of course we need one with a snowboard, so I'm going to glue the snowboard on, and again glue its wing to make it look like it's holding the snowboard. It's time to make a candy cane, so I've sewn the designs, I've cut it out, and now I'm going to stuff it with polyester fiber fill. Now I'm sewing the opening closed. For the red stripe, I'm using 1/8 inch wide red ribbon, and I'm going to glue the end of the ribbon to the bottom of the candy cane. And when I wrap the ribbon, I'm going to make sure that I wrap it at an angle. Now I'm ready to glue and cut the end of the ribbon. To make the bow, I've pinned the pattern piece to some felt and I've cut it out. Now I'm going to remove the pins, and I'm going to show you how to fold this little bow up and glue it using a hot glue gun. We'll fold over the right side first, and we'll just add a little bit of glue to the center of the bow. Now we'll fold over the left side and add a little bit of glue to the middle again. Take the top tab and wrap it around the middle of the ribbon to the back side, and then we'll add just a little bit of glue to hold the tab. To make the wreath, first you'll want to sew and make 12 candy canes, and then we'll take 2 of them and we'll sew them together. You could actually use hot glue if you wanted to hot glue these together also. You'll need to make 6 little bows, and we're going to hot glue these onto the middle of the candy cane. I've glued the very corners of the little penguin's feet together, and they form a circle. And now I'm going to glue the candy canes in between each little penguin, and I'm going to glue the very ends of the candy canes to their wings. On the ones that the wings are folded over, I'll just glue the end of the candy cane to the side of the penguin. After you've glued on all the little candy canes, then your wreath is done. I hope you enjoy this.